The unraveling of forest resilience. Forest ecosystems once assumed robust are now exhibiting unprecedented mortality rates, signaling a systemic crisis. The alarming scale of tree die-offs across multiple continents has shattered the long-held assumption that forests possess inherent buffering capacity against environmental stress.
Recent observations document catastrophic mortality events driven by the synergistic interaction of prolonged drought, exacerbated wildfire regimes, and opportunistic bark beetle infestations. These converging pressures are overwhelming trees' physiological defenses at a pace that exceeds historical precedents, thereby challenging the foundational paradigms of forest management and ecological forecasting.
The immediate implication is that current carbon sequestration models and biodiversity conservation strategies may be fundamentally flawed if they overlook this nonlinear collapse.
Climate change, the accelerator. The underlying driver is the rapid intensification of climate extremes that outpaces genetic adaptation and ecological succession. The data indicates that the frequency and duration of megadroughts have increased globally by over 30% in the past 2 decades, creating conditions that directly weaken tree hydraulic systems.
Simultaneously, warmer winters allow bark beetle populations to complete more life cycles per year, escalating their reproductive capacity and attack pressure. These climatic shifts do not operate in isolation. Rather, they create positive feedback loops where stressed trees become more flammable and burned areas are more susceptible to invasive species and erosion.
The status quo of forest management, often based on static historical baselines, is rendered obsolete as the pace of change outstrips the adaptive capacity of both forests and institutional responses.
The cascading triggers of die-off. A detailed examination of the physiological collapse reveals a multi-stressor pathway culminating in rapid mortality within 2 to 5 years. The primary mechanism involves cavitation, the air blockage of water-conducting vessels in the xylem, which occurs when soil moisture deficits persist beyond tree tolerances.
Once embolisms form, the tree cannot transport water, leading to desiccation even if precipitation later returns. Concurrently, phloem-feeding bark beetles exploit chemical signals emitted by stressed trees, aggregating in massive numbers to overwhelm resin defenses.
The combination of hydraulic failure and biotic attack creates a mortality spiral that is markedly faster than historical norms, typically within 2 to 5 years rather than decades. Key species such as Pinus ponderosa and Pseudotuga menziesii in the American West have shown mortality rates exceeding 70% in severely affected stands, while similar patterns emerge in European Picerobies and Australian eucalyptus forests.
A future of fragmented forests. The strategic verdict points to irreversible biome shifts, necessitating a fundamental rethinking of conservation and carbon policy. Projections indicate that persistent climate trends will transform many temperate and boreal forests from carbon sinks into net carbon sources within 3 decades, as dead biomass decomposes and fires release stored carbon.
The socioeconomic toll includes disrupted timber economies, degraded watershed functions, and accelerated biodiversity loss as obligate forest species lose habitat. Strategic next steps must involve aggressive assisted migration of drought-resistant genotypes, intentional landscape-scale fuel management, and a hard re-evaluation of carbon offset valuations that assume forest permanence.
Failure to act will lock in a trajectory of fragmented woodlands, replacing the resilient ecosystems of the past with novel, low biomass states that offer diminished ecological services.